is yours.
Okay.
He got his own grief from crossing over suddenly.
Okay.
Now you have to, when you go through the process of resolving your grief, the break is the breakthrough at the layers of the grief.
Okay.
So when you letting the grief out and you let the tears flow, and you can get in that hot water and relax and allow yourself to breathe, you cycle the energy better,
Okay.
which allows you to recover from the grief faster, which allows him on the other side to have your spiritual guidance as if he was here with you, but he over there needing your guidance from a different direction.
Okay.
You telepathically to him.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah, I have one of his.
yeah, once you control your faculties, you go from the grief and you start going through the process and you start doing what you got to do. That's called putting in spiritual work.
Okay.
Now, if you a sister that's a death doula, grief doula, Phoenix Rising, my chief of staff, if you need some help, she can either counsel you or she can refer you to one of her students that's also a grief counselor.
Okay. Another.
But what I gave you is the basics. That's the bare minimum that you can do to get through what you're going through.
Okay. Give thanks.
But the most important thing is only you can say how far along you are in your grief. Ain't nobody outside you tell you because they can't feel what you're going through. Only you can feel it. That's your conversation with God.
Right. And is it too early to have altar? Because I really don't have. I have an altar for him. I've been having it. I didn't do it right away. I probably did it like a week afterwards. Is it too early for his altar, or do I keep it up, or?
You set his altar up when you feel like it. Can't nobody. That's the same as with your grief. Can't nobody tell you.
Okay.
In China, when somebody died and they are Buddhists, they put their picture up the same day, so they cremate the body and everybody uses pictures to photo shrine. So that's how you feel. Can't nobody tell you. That's the key to breaking through spiritually is when it comes to spiritual matters, your perception and how you feel is the overriding determining factor in how you practice your spiritual development.
Okay. Yeah, he got.
That's using your will and maintaining your self-control and your control over self. And that keeps other outside entities from stepping on your toes
Okay.
and slowing you down.
Okay. All right, Mr. Hayes. Yeah, at his altar, and we did get him cremated, and I have, I'm sitting right in front of it right now. So I was like, I seen you, and I was like, okay, let me ask you. I usually don't ever join lives or your live, but I knew you had the answer for me.
I'm glad I was able to help you, sweetie.
Give thanks. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
I do a lot of this.
Show me how them Thundercats under that coming through.
Going on? See, what's poppin', man? It's my second time I'm chopping up with you. I can call you a real reflection, man. You my elder, but you're still a reflection of me, man. Every time I hear you, you know how that goes. Like hearing you talk, you know what I mean? Hearing you talk is like crazy, huh?
Yeah. So what you got on your mind today?
You said something key today. Hold on. You said something key just to the young lady here, and that was about how to spiritually transition, like using the override. You said something key, overriding things, and that's what I'm on right now, the manifestation. Whatever's going on, like I got some situation going on, but as a master of how I master my mind, I'm demonstrating, and that's why I'm in the position I'm in now, because I came back just to do what I'm doing. And I'm demonstrating to people to my people, right? Not to let the outside convolute your vision, your trajectory, like how you perceive things and how you feel about it. That's what really override things. And when you say that, I'm like, God damn, Rod always on, and you always on beat. But that's what I do to override any situation, whatever it looks like. And as God, here's my little son, he tweaking right now. Sure. So everything I do, we know how to override it.
Kick us out.
Huh?
We got about 20 seconds for Instagram. Kick us out.
Oh, okay. Now I was just I was just pointing that out to you, man, and just hopping on. I got my little son here, but yeah, the overriding things, whatever's going on in our life. I was touching on that with you, and you said it. So as I'm going on with my situation.
And welcome back to Office Hours with Dr. G. Welcome to all of you who are in the chat. Make sure that you are sharing the fact that Chief Pontiac is in the house. He's in the office. He's going to give us just what the doctor ordered. How about that? It's so good to have you. It's so good to have you here, Chief. It's so good to have you here. And
it's always good to be here, Dr. G.
I know we have a ball though when we talk, when we have our conversations. Where do you find the link for part two? Part two's link is if you go back to the description of this particular show. Like if you're on YouTube, there's a description. It's telling you what the show is going to be about. There's a link. And it tells you this is the link to the show. You click on that. What we're going to do is give you a break. What we're going to do is we're going to talk for about 45 minutes, maybe. Well, actually, Chief's going to talk for about 45 minutes. We're going to share. And then about 20 after 8, we're going to log off of this, and we want you to click the link and join us. It's going to look the same, but we want you to join us, and we're going to be in what we call unfiltered. And what that means is it's not going to be on Facebook. It's not going to be on YouTube. You're not even going to be able to get back to it tomorrow. When it's over, you're not going to be able to see it. So you want to tell everybody you know that we're doing a 2-parter. You don't have to register. It's just that it's unfiltered. And we want to make sure that you just can't get back to it and throw it up on YouTube or something. We don't want it on YouTube because we want to be able to speak freely. And it's sad. It's sad that we're at a place where we can't. Free speech is not free, and you have you run the risk of jeopardizing your channel, your platform when you tell the truth. But we found a way. We got to work around. So with that said, Chief, again, welcome to Office Hours. Welcome back to Office Hours. I feel like when you have this is Dr. G's Office Hours, and I feel like when you come on, it's like I had to get a specialist to come, you know what I mean? A doctor specialist to come in the office and give us the 411 of what's really, really going on. Cause I didn't learn that stuff when I was in the doctorate school. So I appreciate the time that you took and that Big Mama took to put you in a place where you could have some real serious download time and you erudited yourself. You were able to get that erudite scholarship and that knowledge. And it's very rare that I've ever seen you on anybody's platform that a question has been posed to you that you can't respond to and answer. And what I love about you also is that when you can't, you say that. You don't try to find something and give somebody a whole bunch of gobbledygook and some stuff to make it sound good. But I've heard you literally say from time to time that you're not familiar with that. I thought I had myself. Yeah, I thought you don't say that, but what you do know, you come right off the cuff with it, and I know. And I feel, and I think a lot of people will agree with me, that knowledge and that wisdom that you have garnered over those in the belly of the beast was not for naught. And it's been for our benefit. With that, Like I said, welcome back to the show. Do you have anything in particular that's on your heart or in your mind? Because, you know, every day I know information and so forth is being transmitted to you. So I don't know whether there's anything before I get into asking you stuff, what's going on? Because it's a lot going on, but I want to know, I want your take on it. Just to start off now.
Well, look, it's funny you said that because I'm in my sense of humor mode, right?
Okay.
And somebody posted on Facebook today, it popped up in my timeline and say, "This is the 3rd of September. You ain't black if you don't know what that is." It
Was
was
that
the
the day I
3rd.
always remember? That was the
It was
day.
the day that my daddy died.
Daddy down.
So the emphasis on the 3rd of September being the day that my daddy died is talking about patriarchy.
Ah,
Patriarchy.
okay.
The
Okay.
revelation of truth is what killed the father, who was a bootleg preacher.
Okay.
I mean, that he was making it up as he go, teaching what he think can get him some money. I ain't in here for no money, and I work for the matriarchy.
That's right, you do.
So if I ain't here for money and I work for the matriarchy, then the patriarchy got to fall.
That's right.
Right? So in working for the matriarchy, a lot of the up and coming developing men think that the death of patriarchy mean that all of their power took. They don't understand the matriarchy. The matriarchy is not about taking the men out of positions of power and just putting a woman there. They might be the most qualified for that position. You're going to leave them there under the matriarchy. The matriarchy's rules are a lot simpler and comprehensive for the regular people than the patriarchal admiralty rules. Right? And the matriarchy is live your best life, be your best self to experience heaven on earth. The patriarchy is dog eat dog, step on your brother to get what you want. Right? It's two different ideologies as the root. Under the matriarchy, everybody in the tribes have a voice. And you send it up the chain of command. Under the patriarchy, the people that the patriarchy consider important, the only ones that matter, and everybody else's voice must only be apparently heard, meaning they give you the appearance that they hear you, but they do what they was going to do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So in the matriarchy, a 4-year-old can get legislation put on the vote. And under the patriarchy, if you're not a legislative writer, you can't get nothing put on the vote. The difference is the law is handled by a group of specialized women that know how to use source energy as the guiding light to make law according to the law of nature. So the first two questions that they ask before they consider if it's something that they should be contemplating making law about, they ask two questions. How does it affect the children? The reason they ask that question, because the effect on the children tells you what effect it has in the future. And then the second question is, how does it affect the earth? Mm-hmm. If it affects either one of them negatively, it's rejected. You can't, it won't even benefit one if it don't benefit the other. Right? So this is the difference in the patriarchal dictators masquerading as democratic government, having people believe they vote count when nothing they say count. They just want to know who can organize the vote so they know who to pay off or murder. And if you can get you a group of people that they feel you can control, then whatever you ask for, they gonna compensate you in one form or another. They normally give it to you in tax breaks and grants. That's what 501c3 status is for the church.
501c3, yeah.
It's a waiver of financial penalty in the form of tax if you do what we want you to do. They're not going to give you access to exemptions if you're not going to benefit their system. But if you can figure out how to operate within their system to benefit the most people, they want you, and they will do anything they can to appease you from mobilizing those people to reclaim what's rightfully theirs. So this is why they have us under the illusion of voters' rights. They already said we don't got no rights in their system. So now we believe we got rights in their system, and we fight over the rights that they never gonna give us. And the only time you get a benefit is when you can sabotage the most people on their behalf. The more people you can sabotage, the more comfortable they let you live. Oppression is atmospheric. There's two ways to the top. Rise up or suck up. It's only two ways to the top. And we got too many suck ups and not enough rise ups. Because when you rise up, you know what you're doing, or else you're not going to leave your seat. But when you suck up, you don't know what you're doing because you don't understand why you can't get no power. All suction and ain't getting no power. Right? That's like a Hollywood prostitute. When she get old, she still was a prostitute and she got nothing to show for it, but probably a house and a car. Then she look back and she's miserable with how she lived her life. The whore of Babylon. Right? So they use the political stage show to steer the psychological grouping or sociology of the collective. If they can give you a compelling show, they have your attention. If they got your attention, you will follow them off the cliff.
Like
but as soon as you take your attention back, they are offended at you because you're taking your power back.
Let's talk about power for a minute, or the lack thereof, or the appearance of, or the mindset of there being no power. Can you tell us when we went from knowing that we were that God, we were the gods that God, the scripture, even if you go to the Bible, there's a scripture that says the greater one lives on the inside, and Yeshua was allegedly talking to the masses and saying, you got the greater one, you got him already on the inside of you. So we see that there. Yet what has been espoused and taught and assimilated has been powerlessness and looking to government, which we know allowing somebody else to take over control of one's mental faculties and to put thoughts and ideologies and so forth and to control. When did we go from knowing who we were, where we came from, to where we are now, being completely, in a like the Twilight Zone, or brainwashed as if these things had never even been our story? What happened? What transpired? I guess I want to say.
Sociology is the study of groups and how groups operate, how they move. This tells you what their trigger mechanisms is. It can tell you how to turn them on each other. It can tell you how to execute your divide and conquer strategies. The ones with enough of the old ways will begin to remember pieces of it, and they will do things that gather the attention away from the stage show. They use the same strategy as an illusionist in Vegas, a David Copperfield trick. They tell you that you don't have any rights because they declare war on you. But then they told you, you're not them people that we talking about. We talk about these other people that we brought over here with us to replace you. But we ain't gonna tell you that part. Rod Hayes just gonna say the quiet part out loud so the people know how the game played. So they telling you from somewhere else, but your insides keep saying, it's just something ain't right with that story. You don't know what it is because so many people that look like you believe the same narrative. But some of us don't. The hard part is for the ones who don't to go find enough evidence to prove the case. We become then tribal investigators.